Salutations, crustaceans. I'm Lobster, and welcome to the first video in my new studio and office space in my basement. I now have way more room to do some crazy bass builds that you guys are really going to enjoy, so be sure to hit that subscribe button. Anyways, today we'll be reviewing the Tune TWB5T. Let's take a look. So to my left is the Tune TWB5T. This is a Korean model. Now what does that mean exactly? The story of the Tune bass company is very interesting.
Stay a while and listen.
I believe they started in the late 80s as a boutique bass builder out of Japan. These basses grew a cult following due to their unique bodywoods, high quality construction, and unique electronics. However, in the late 90s, things started to take a downturn for Tune. The company went bankrupt, and a holding company out of Korea, which was a partial owner of Tune, got the rights to produce these basses out of Korea. However, there is a separate bass company in Japan that has the rights to produce these basses within Japan only. So there's actually two bass companies that are completely unrelated, producing very similar looking basses. On one hand, you have the mass-produced Korean models, like what we have here, which are still being produced to this day and started production, I want to say, in the mid-2000s. And then you have the Japanese models, which are a lot rarer, but supposedly much higher quality, and I would believe it. So today we're going to be taking a look at one of the Korean models that we have here. This is the TWB5T. The T stands for neck through. This bass features a solid mahogany body with a gorgeous poplar burl top, a 3-piece maple neck through construction, and a 25-fret ebony fretboard. This bass also features 2 soap bar pickups as well as a 3-band active preamp. From a styling perspective, I think these basses are really cool looking. It's a very unique body shape that gives you great access to the upper frets. The pickup placement is also very interesting. It may look like nothing special, but because you have a 25-fret neck, everything kind of gets squished over towards the bridge. So this neck pickup is almost at where the sweet spot is on a Stingray, and this bridge pickup is really close to the bridge. But let me tell you, this thing doesn't sound like you think it would. Let's check it out. You guys know what you need to do. Go ahead and pinch that like button so my hand can turn back to normal. Thanks. Man, this thing has a really interesting tone. The tone on this thing kind of reminds me of a Warwick thumb a little bit, and that's because the placement of the pickups on this bass is kind of similar to that of the thumb, because the thumb also has a really small body and a long neck with extra frets, at least the neck through version. The tone of the Tune TWB5T definitely doesn't lack any low end, but it has a very distinct and sharp, very clear tone. Very hi-fi versus a vintage tone like you'd get in a Fender P or J bass. And this thing is unapologetically shooting for the high end. I believe they're trying to mimic the quality of the Japanese counterparts. But does it hold up? I really can't say. I've never played any of the Japanese tunes, but maybe I'll get my claws on one in the future. And now I bet you're wondering, how does she slap? I think it sounds pretty good. Because the natural playing position is so close to the bridge, the string tension is really tight. and I think that contributes to the very sharp tone of the bass. Normally on a Fender P or J, you're actually playing right about here. But because everything is pushed so far back, your default playing position is kind of moved back as well. Now don't get me wrong, access to the first fret isn't an issue like the headless basses. I feel like ergonomically, this design is very good. It feels comfortable against my body and very well balanced. Now let's check out these individual pickups. Let's start with the neck one. Not bad. I feel like because the pickups are so close together, they sound very similar to one another. Whereas the neck and bridge pickup of a traditional jazz bass have very distinct tones when soloed, these sound very alike. Let me show you what I mean, and let's check out the bridge pickup. So you see what I mean about them sounding very similar. It's obviously the bridge pickup, but you really can't escape the natural sound of this instrument. Now let's explore the EQ a little bit. It's a 3-band EQ, and I feel like it's tuned relatively well. With everything centered, I think the bass sounds great. And this EQ also features boost and cut. So when we roll back everything, you really notice a difference. And the boosts also do a really good job of accentuating the appropriate frequencies without getting overwhelming. Check out what I mean with the bass boost. Now let's see what happens if we cut the mids just a little bit. It sounds pretty good, but again, you really can't escape the natural sound of this bass. The treble boost also does a really good job of boosting the appropriate treble frequencies without making anything ear bleeding. Check out what I mean. Another thing to note is the B string. The B string on this is actually really solid. Now, I'm not sure about the Japanese models, but these do not feature string-through construction on the body. But the B string is surprisingly tight. I'd probably attribute that to the solid 3-piece maple neck construction. Not bad. Now let's talk about the value of the Tune TWB5T. As I mentioned earlier, these basses have been in production for about 15 or so years, this particular one being a 2010 model. And let me tell you, nothing has changed in that time. Though these are high quality instruments, they are mass produced, and the price tag is about $1,600 to $1,700 depending on where you find them. In my opinion, that's a bit on the steep side, given the competition in that segment. One particular bass that comes to mind in the $1,600 to $1,700 price category is this. The Ibanez EHB 1505 MS. I already did a review on this, and I'll be sure to link that in the description, but these things are really, really nice. The tone is very flexible, the preamp is great, and you have a passive option with a passive tone control. You also have the option of a multi-scale neck, though a standard neck is available. And on top of that, you get Nordstrand pickups, and in my opinion, this kick-ass design. So yeah, $1,600 to $1,700 for a bass that hasn't changed in 15 or so years, not that compelling. That's not to say it's not a great instrument, because it is, but I'd like to see a little bit of innovation out of that Tune Korea company. And now it's time to give a rating to the Tune TWB5T. I'm going to go ahead and rate this bass 3 claws out of 5. These are really well-built instruments in my opinion. However, the lack of tonal versatility compared to the competition leaves me wanting a bit more for the price. And as I said, this is a great instrument, but the value just isn't there for me to give this a 4 out of 5. Well, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, everyone. Be sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below and let me know what you think about the Tune TWB5T. Also, stay tuned for a special message from my good friend Steve Goldshein, who's going to be hosting an online composition masterclass, and he is the master of these things. So go ahead and check it out. And until we groove again.
Hey everybody, my name's Steve Goldshein. Hope you enjoyed Lobster's video. I'm offering composition masterclasses through Composition Online. Students can bring a music project that you're working on and get detailed positive feedback on how to take it to the next level. No matter what style, production techniques, and tools you're using, come bring any project and I can help you with tips and tricks and detailed, personalized feedback to help you maximize the potential of your music. Check out more info below.